to the 10th season of The Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell. Each show is filled with news, reviews, technology, and interviews with authors and artists throughout the industry, with a surprise or two. And now, as always, here is our host, H.D. Campbell. Coming up on today's Author's Corner, with H.D. Campbell. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. Welcome to a late edition of The Author's Corner. As always, I'm your host, H.D. Campbell. Today, we're doing a late version of The Author's Corner because this is something I'm going to mention on my 2 cents later. But there's show etiquette where you're being invited for a show and things like that not everybody honors. Fortunately, I have guests that love to come on and have been asking to come on, and I can get them on when I can at the last minute. So thank God I was able to get a show this week with more than one guest. Today, we have two very deep, powerful brothers. Author Taz, who, even though he's been out for a few short years, he has really got this game on lockdown as far as what he wants to write. He knows a lot about the market and everything. Then we have seasoned author Alvin L.A. Horn. He is, man, you're about to see more from this brother too. Before I get into anything, I want to let you guys know, last week we did a show dedicated to Nipsey Hussle, because he was murdered. Not this last weekend, the weekend before last. His memorial is tomorrow. And I have a post up right now where you can actually go and see see the memorial and everything. Tickets are free if you're in the area. Just please be respectful of the family. Also, finally, tonight I did have a blog to do about Kodak Black. I'll do that in the morning due to the lateness of this show and to the upload and everything. And again, my apologies. So when we come back, we'll start with Author Taz.
Ever experienced a love for someone so forbidden, feels so wrong, but yet his passion makes you feel oh so right? Even if you have, meet Solomon and Sheba, my award-winning author, Francine Kraft, and experience it all again. Experience the roadblocks of pregnancy, past transgressions, and the deathbed confession threatens the most powerful of romances. Can they survive? By Solomon and Sheba from your favorite bookstore, Amazon, and BarnesandNoble.com.
Are you looking for that one-of-a-kind gift for a loved one, but don't know what to get? Reg Crochet has your back. Let Sharitha crochet you that nice hat, scarf, or that one-of-a-kind item. If you can imagine it, she can crochet it for you. Go to Reg Crochet for more information.
Welcome back to the show. My first author is Author Taz. I've been trying to get with him to do this interview for long and finally got a chance to lock him down. He's an over-the-road truck driver, so his schedule's kind of shaky, between doing shows and everything, we're, and me working on books and everything, we're trying to lock each other down. Now that we finally locked each other down, we was able to have a great conversation about books, about females, his name Taz the Freak, and everything. So, without further ado, here's the interview. But explain to me How did you get the name Taz the Freak before we do anything?
Well, that's kind of a complicated answer. I wrestled through high school, so henceforth where the name Taz came from. I was quite a bit of a terrorist on the mat.
Oh,
And,
cool.
yes, and of course, as I got older, the freak part comes into play.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm actually going to take you back. I want you to stay in high school for a second. I want you to go back to the beginning. What got you interested in wanting to write?
Well, wrestling, because in high school, my freshman year of high school, I was 96 pounds at 4'10".
Ooh.
So, I wanted to play sports, but mom wouldn't let me play football. So this was our compromise. She let me wrestle, and it was a very good way. Wrestling taught me a lot of things. Now, as far as my writing is concerned, poetry was a way that I can express myself. Because I was a church boy in my younger years. I grew up in the church, so of course I wasn't allowed to cuss and wasn't allowed to say and do nasty things. But it was always on my mind. So poetry was a way for me to express those things without expressing those things.
Okay, wonderful. So let's fast forward because I'm actually trying to get to your titles. Actually, tell me about your first book. Which one you got two books here. Which one is your first book?
My first book is In the Heat of the Night: A Taste of Taz. That was my very first book. That book is interesting because, like I said, I've been writing since high school, and had an opportunity to publish my first book. Well, I didn't actually have to write it. All I did was just pull up the material. I've been sitting on all of this material for many, many years, so it wasn't anything that I actually had to sit down and write. It's just a matter of making some edits and sending it over to the publisher.
Okay.
But when I turned 40, I wanted to step over into that next phase of life with something special. So that's when I had my first book published, which is again In the Heat of the Night: A Taste of Taz, and it's been very successful.
Awesome. I'm looking at pictures of signings and everything. The fans are really loving this, especially the ladies. Tell me about the ladies.
Well, we live in a sex-filled society. Whether it's the music, whether it's in the movie, just general conversation, we live in a sex-filled society. So, fortunately, unfortunately, sex sells. And, with that first book, it's my way of saying things that most people won't say. That book is very raw. I didn't sugarcoat anything. If I said it, that's what it meant, So if I said she bent over and I ran my tongue from, the crack of her ass up to her clit, that's what's in the book. And exactly how I wrote it. Oh, it's raw. It's very raw.
That's what it's all about, though. I mean, you have to write how you feel. You have to be true to your words. So that's why I say the women are really eating this book up. How do you feel about the way they're eating it up?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. It's far beyond. It's not done yet, but it has gone far beyond what my wildest of dreams would be, because of the fact that and don't get me wrong, don't sleep on the men now. It appeals to men too. And in some of my signings, guys will come in, oh man, I can't, read nothing like that. Why? And I tell them in a heartbeat, man, you take this home. And I made a deal with a guy. I said, man, you take this home with you. And if you don't get you something tonight, you send me an inbox and I'll send you your money back.
Oh, see, that's
I haven't heard from that gentleman yet.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself. You now have published this book. Tell me about, you said that you've already had this book kind of written. Tell me about your journey between getting the book together and getting it published.
Okay, well, I drive a truck for a living, and one of my closest friends, she's from Florida. She's a driver also, and one of her friends was starting his own publishing company. So of course she did the introduction, and he and I sat down and we talked, and I said, well, man, let me send you some of my material. I said, because I don't believe in wasting people's time. I said it may not be worth anything to publish, and I said I don't believe in wasting people's time because I don't like people wasting mine. So I sent him a few pieces, and he calls me back. He says there's two things I need to say to you. I said, okay. He said, the first thing I need to say to you is don't stop writing. And he said, the second thing I need to say to you is I need 30 pieces for your first book. I said, hold on a minute. And he heard a few keystrokes, and then I said, I'd come back and say, check your email.
Ooh.
He was like, wait, what? I said, check your email. He was like, oh, okay. It's like that? I said, it's just like that.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So you were Diamond Cut Publishing?
Diamond Cut Publication, yes. Actually, I'm with two publishing companies.
Mm.
The kicker is this. Diamond Cut Publication, erotica.
Mm-hmm.
And Silent Storm Publication publishes my non-erotica.
Wonderful.
So that's why, I did that because I want people to know there's more to Taz than just the freaky side. I have a heart. I love, I hurt, I cry, and my second book, it's, from the heart of Taz. And it's those that know me, it's like watching me grow up on pages because it's about family, life, and love, but it's written from my perspective and my experiences in life.
What was your inspiration behind that?
Well, same thing there. Growing up as a kid, I was a bit of a troubled kid. I went through some things at a young age, and again, that was my way of expressing it to maintain my sanity. But once again, this stuff was already written. I didn't have to actually write it; it was already written. And over the years, even as an adult, I still write. Mm-hmm. I've never stopped writing. From high school, I don't write as much as I would like to. Of course, sometimes life gets away in just being an adult. But I love to write, man, and that's just, it's not just one of my passions. That's just me. I can sit in a restaurant and be having dinner, and you just never know where an inspiration might spark. So it's very rare you'll catch me without it. I'm still old school, man. I walk around with a pen and a notepad at all times. I mean, I have stuff that I wrote down on a napkin.
Well, I'm going to be totally honest with you, though. A lot of the best writers still do. A lot of the best authors still do.
Yes.
So,
and my thing is this, man. The time it takes you to turn on your laptop, you forgot your thought.
That's it.
So that's one of the reasons why I'm still that old school, man. I keep pen and paper always close by. I still have some of the original books where I've written down the pieces that are in those books that are published.
Okay. Well, my next question is, so do you have any other titles that are in the works or on the way to be published?
I do. I have another one coming out later this year. I'm actually supposed to be finished with it, but I'm a little bit behind on writing it. This one, I'm really excited about it because I'm actually stepping out of my comfort zone. This book that's coming up, it's not going to be a portrait book this time. It's going to be another erotica, but it's going to be a compilation of short stories. But they're going to be all erotic short stories. So once again, I'm really excited about it. That's kind of why it's taking me a bit longer to write because this is, like I said, out of my comfort zone, so to speak. I love poetry. Poetry is always going to be my first heart. But I want to, expand my horizon a little bit. Eventually, at some point, I would like to get to a point where I have, some novels written as well. I kind of want to, cover the spectrum a little bit, give a bit more variety. Typically most authors are not for a lack of, to insult anybody, but they're mostly one-dimensional. You have authors that are poets, and that's all that they write is poetry. You have authors that are novelists, that's all that they write is novels. Or you have, fiction writers and, whatever. Well, I want to be a bit more dimensional.
Okay. Well, you know what? And again, just like with the notebook thing, a lot of the best authors are more than one dimensional. They do expand themselves. So see, in other words, you're already ahead of the game.
Yes.
And this is more of a off the topic but on the topic question. Us as black authors, African American authors, whatever you want to call us,
Okay.
where do you see us in the next 5, 10 years?
Well, I would say we're like a new city. We're up and coming. I've only been in this now for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years now. Because I published my first book at 40. So yeah, it's been 2 years, and I've seen a lot of different changes in the sense I never knew that there were so many of us as black authors. I would have never even begun to imagine that it was so many. And when you begin to network with people, you begin to experience and see other people that are doing somewhat of the same things. And I know this is going to sound bad, but it's just the honest truth. This business is a cutthroat business, and unfortunately, we're still divided, and that's one of the things that hurts us as in our culture, because it's not so much always about us; it's about me. So I try to, just like in any aspect of life, I try to hang around those that are about us and not just about me.
Have you experienced any of that personally, or have you seen any of it or observed it? How do you feel about that division amongst
Well,
us?
unfortunately, it's disheartening, man. And yes, I've seen it up close in person, and that's why I'm so much very aware of it, because people will steal your ideas and make it into their own, which is so sad, because we all have creativity in us. Some, focus on your creativity. My publisher says he's something he's instilled in me. He says if you're not, if you've never been to jail, then why are you writing a gangster story?
Exactly.
If you've never, if you've never been in love, why are you writing a love story without doing research on these various subjects to know what it is that you're writing? He said, write where you live. If you write where you live, it makes the story feel more at home. And so, as far as the division is concerned, because I've been approached by several authors that wanted to write with me, and I was willing to do it because I wanted to learn. And the ones that wanted to write were novelists. So it was a kind of a teaching thing for me, in the sense, okay, I'm willing to work with you, and you can kind of educate me on how this novel stuff works. Basically, they wanted me to write the sex scenes for some of their stories. And which, again, I was more than willing to do that. But saying you want me to do it and doing it is two different things, because I've actually started writing some work, and that was just it. And it's like, oh, well, I'm just going to do my thing. Okay, you do your thing. But I'm, being a businessman myself, I just really don't like the fact that, people are not, their word is just not their word anymore.
So let's get back to the lady fans a little bit. How can people get to know you? Where can they buy your books? Do you have a website? How can they get in contact with you?
Well, email. I'm on all the social medias. Arthur Taz, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, You can find me pretty much any and everywhere. AuthorTaz@gmail is my email, and I do have a website that it's still open, but I'm gonna have to redo it. It's AuthorTaz at AuthorTaz.net. .net is my website. My books are everywhere: Barnes and Nobles, Books A Million, Amazon, Create Space. It's also available in ebook. But if you want an autographed copy, then you can email me or hit my inbox on Facebook or Twitter me or whatever, and we can make the necessary arrangements to get you an autographed copy of it.
Cool.
And like I said, even though I drive trucks over the road, listen, I always keep packaging material. I can always find me a post office. It doesn't matter where I am. We can make it happen.
See, your job is making the rest of us look bad. See, you're always near a post office, so we have to actually go to the post office. We actually always have to find packing material. See, you. See, now I'm jealous.
I have a tote here in the truck with me, and that's all that's in it. I have envelopes, tape, and I keep pens, and I always keep books because I use my truck to promote the book. Anytime I have a book signing anywhere, I just catch me a load to the book signing, do my book signing, and I just keep on rocking and rolling. So I have everything in the truck from, I'm sitting here at a truck stop right now. If I knew I can get away with it, I got tables and everything, bro. I can have me a book signing right here next to the truck.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. But that's the thing. Use your imagination. Take it to your advantage. You good. You actually, honestly, for real, you're actually in a good position to do what you do.
Absolutely, man. Even in trucking, I've like I said, I've been driving for 20 years, and I apply some of my business strategy of trucking to being an author as well. And one of the biggest things is think outside of the box. When I go different places, if I see a novelty store, I will stop in that novelty store, go in and talk to the manager about putting my book in the store.
Awesome. Well, actually, you just led me to my segue to my final question, which actually, you've actually been doing good this whole interview with it. I always give my authors the final word. Any words of wisdom, anything you want to say, any advice you want to give, the floor is yours.
Well, my advice, if you have a passion for writing, if you want to accomplish anything, that saying is true. Nothing beats your failure if you don't try. There's nothing wrong with trying, and I may not ever be the number one seller, but one thing that I will never be able to say is that I had an idea or I had a passion or I had a dream one day that I wanted to do something and I didn't do it. I have 2 books out that are published, and I have one that's on the way, and I'm sure there's more to come. Like I said, I may never be the number one bestseller or anything like that, but one thing I can never say is I wish I had did that when I'm older. I can say, hey, you can go online and you can still find my books 20 and 30 years from now if, I'm still alive. But, also I believe in creating a legacy. Even though I may not be around to see that legacy, I believe that later years, these books will help someone.
Okay. I want to say this before in the interview. I normally turn the camera off at this point, but I just want to say you're one of the most positive brothers, authors that I've met so far who just say, hey, I'm taking this to my advantage. You don't give up. You're very positive, which is one thing I love about that, bro.
Man, listen, I'm going to tell you a quick story, man. My grandmother is 78 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Love Granny dearly. But one of the things when I listen to my grandmother, she says a lot of times, oh, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. And I know it's probably a bad way to look at it, but it inspires me. Because I don't want to be 78 years old saying I wish I would have. So, with being an author and being a truck driver and various other aspects of my life. And typically when she's saying that is because, I love to take cruises and I love vacationing. I have a passport, man. I love traveling outside of the country and experiencing, other cultures and, different aspects of life. And, when I come back and she's like, man, I wish I could, I wish I would do something like that. I wish I had did something like that when I was younger and, all of that. And man, this is another one. Being an author is fun. I love to have fun. I love to enjoy myself and I love to have a good time. And being an author, it allows me to do that. You get to meet different people, different walks of life, and different nationalities, and just different ways of thinking. And sometimes it's positive, and sometimes it's not. It's just like any other aspect of life. You have the good and you have the bad. But regardless of what anybody else does, Taz is gonna be Taz. Taz is gonna have fun. Taz is gonna cut up and act a fool. Taz is gonna talk crazy. When it's time to be serious, Taz is gonna be serious. And I'm a humble person. If I don't know, I don't know. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna listen and learn. Or if I have an idea, I'm not afraid to say, okay, well, I'm not exactly sure about this subject, but what about this? Or what do you think about that? My not knowing could be someone's light bulb. Say, I never even thought about it in that retrospect. And that's with anybody. Regardless of how old, where you come from, what color you are, it doesn't matter. It's all about the perspective in which you put things out there.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I have to take the time to give my 3 shout-outs. First, I need to shout out the good Lord himself. Thank you for giving me the talent and the mind to express myself the way that I am. Also, I got to give shout-out to Diamond Cup Publications, King Diamond over there with his crazy self, and the whole Diamond Cup family. Also, I got to give shouts out to the Queen Diamond over there at Silent Storm Publications and the Silent Storm Publications family as well. Love you guys, and you guys keep these publishing companies in mind and keep these names in mind, because we have some real special stuff going on over here, and we have some special stuff coming out, and our goal is to be able to fulfill your literary your literary appetite in any genre. We have so many wonderful authors over here. We have so many wonderful titles, and that's just what we do over here. So shouts out to everybody and all that kind of good stuff. That way I can stay in everybody's good graces.
She is the queen of my existence. She is someone's black mother, someone's black daughter, someone's black sister. In fact, who are you to disrespect our black sisters? The ones who bore our children, cooked our meals, and kept our two cool selves out of jail. Have you checked out How to Lose a Black Woman, the second printing? Same Bruce Williams with an updated story and more heart than the original. You can check out the second printing of How to Lose a Black Woman for only $14.95. You can check it out from these booksellers, your favorite bookstore, and even on Kindle and Nook. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. This is Bert Sanford with the headlines. 2 men were arrested today in a carjacking ring that Who murdered Bert Sanford on the air? It's a murder so gritty, investigative reporter Mark Alexander comes out of retirement to expose a conspiracy surrounding Bert Sanford's assassination. Catch Late Murder at 10, the reprint, coming April 30th. Welcome back to the show. My next author is author Alvin L.A. Horn. We've both been actually at this game a very long time. In fact, way before social media was a thing. We were at, when you can sell books way before there was social media, you're actually good seasoned pro. I'm actually will attest to that myself. I've been selling, let's see, when How to Lose a Black Woman came out, this was actually, MySpace was just becoming a thing, just like him and his books. So social media was kind of new to us, but way before social media, you have to be able to sell books. There's going to be an AC 2 cents later, not today, but on another show. So without further ado, his author L.A. Horn.
Yes, my writing experience is kind of an odd story in why I work in education now and over the years. It's because I have a learning disability. I had all this creativity in me to go up in front of people and tell a short story, but the actual art of taking a pencil and writing, I would write words backwards, spell words backwards, or my handwriting was really poor. And so I was embarrassed about it. Fortunately, I had some teachers along the way that would allow me to recite my work. So I've always had this thing about writing and creating stories. And I was a reader. Sometimes I'd be reading 4 books at a time. Even to this day, I'm reading 3 books right now at the same time, depending where I'm at, what I'm doing. So I've always had this creativity since I've been a child. And along the way, by the time I got into high school, I had arranged myself to be able to have people write for me. I would recite something for them, and they would write it for me. And when it came to creative writing classes in school, there'd be 20 students in there. A lot of everybody can't write creative stuff. And, when it came time to write poetry or a short story, the teachers would say, your assignment is this. Well, I would go around to each person in the classroom, and I would listen to how they talk, how they laugh, how they act, and I would recite a short story for them, or poetry, for them to turn in. They would write it. Now that also strangely helped me be able to do creative activities, but depending on how the person acted, I could create a character out of them. And I would then tell them to recite for me, and they would write my homework for me. And I got away with this for a long time. Funny part about writing, all the way back in high school, everybody wanted to write love letters. Well, I had a knack for writing love letters. So people would come to me, Alvin, I need to write this love letter to this girl. Or Alvin, this is the guy I want to take out to the school dance. I need you to write a love letter for me. And I would do it. I would recite these letters for them, they'd write it. And along the way, I've come to find out that a few people lost their virginity to my love letters. I didn't get it, but someone else got it.
Oh my God! Oh man, I can't. That just takes me back, and I was the love letter writer too. No, you're not alone. So that's awesome. So, with all that said, what led to this career that now spans a lot of years?
After I left college, not being able to write and take notes became very difficult on that level. And so I left college early, and I was a pretty starred athlete at the University of New Mexico, and I left to go to play football in Canada, in CFL. That didn't last too long because I was partying too hard. I didn't have a lot of mentorship, and so I made some mistakes along the way. And it came time to take care of my son. I was a single parent, and so I did the regular 9-to-5 things here in Seattle, working at the Boeing's aero plant here. And I did that for 15 years. It kind of left the writing thing alone. Something that happened in high school, a teacher had gave me a cassette player, big old piano key, used 4 double D batteries, pushed down on it, and I would recite into this all the time. So I had this catalog of cassettes of short stories and poetry, and sometimes I could get somebody to write it out for me. But after working 15 years in the aerospace business, wanting to coach, wanting to something else, wanting to have my own business. I walked out of there one day, retired from Boynes, long before my other friends still had 20 more years to go. And I created my own business, and one thing led to another. I ended up working at a school coaching, and they were amazed that I could have 40, 50, 60 kids out there and all make them behave and act right and do what they're supposed to do. And the principal came and says, hey, would you like to work in our learning resource center here and help our troubled kids? I joked and said, well, most of these kids can probably write better than me, you know. He says, and I explained to him what was going on with me. He says, hey, let's send you to school. We have community teacher programs, and that happened back in the 90s. And I come to find out that I could type and not have that same issue. The early home computers came out, the early laptops came out, the school furnished me with one, and all of a sudden I was writing. I was writing a lot, and couldn't put it down. I'd be up in the middle of the night writing. And one thing led to another, that I wrote a short story about a meeting someone that, sometimes we meet somebody for 5 minutes, and they can have such an impactful situation on our life. And so, I started writing my short stories out. I was typing them for the first time, and of course some of my grammar and things weren't as up to par because I had not been writing. And but I was blessed with friends to say, hey, let me help you with this, let me do that. And just for the amount of words I was typing and correcting, I was starting to develop certain skills. And I wrote a short story about a meeting. Someone that must have lasted 5 minutes or less. And she had such an impact on my life that I kind of wrote a short story of how we can meet someone in a short situation, and how we can know someone all our life and they don't have an impact on our life. And a friend read the story and says, man, you ought to turn this into a book. It's like, no, nobody wants to read that stuff. And I kind of pushed it aside. Well, going back to those love letters, a friend of mine who got married because of my love letters came to me and asked me to write a current love letter for his wife for their 20th year anniversary. I was like, well, that's kind of weird. He says, well, man, she never knew you wrote those letters, and that's one of the things she requested for the anniversary is a love letter. So I asked him some things that they did and what have you, and I wrote this long love letter. I had it printed out on pink paper, and I put some erotic stuff in it too, and he presented it to her. Well, she took a part of the letter and sent it into a contest. So his wife took a portion of this story I wrote, the erotic part, and she sent it into a magazine, and he won this contest. And at that point in time, she told him, honey, guess what? And he had to confess, honey, I didn't really write that. I didn't write those love letters back 20 years ago. Alvin did. And she wasn't upset with him. She says, I should have known better. And I didn't know that this had happened. I got invited over for dinner. And during dinner, he handed me a check and says, this is for you. Like, what are you talking about? You won a contest. And they both cracked up and told me the story, And so,
Wow.
I started writing for erotic men's magazines. Some people call it pornography magazines, but they started paying me.
I call it a job.
Of course, I didn't use my real name.
Right.
So, one thing that said, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should be writing. And I went back to that short story, and I worked on it, and I started to like it. My ego started to grow, like, wait a minute, I can do this. I let some people read some portions of it, and they were encouraging. And 2 years later, I produced a book called Brushstrokes.
Hmm.
And first book, and this was before the self-publishing craze, where you can just go online and send whatever your document, and they might edit it for you or might not, or
Right.
ability to know that you get your work edited or how to go about that process. Fortunately, I did get mine edited, and I created my own publishing company. I was able to get that information, and I had the book cover. This is actually a photo I took many years ago, and then I had an artist create the front and back cover for me. Rather well-known artist in Canada did the work for me. And one thing led to another. I got it printed, and that story thing of taking your credit card, your banking account, and everything you got, and I went and bought 5,000 books.
Wow.
And not knowing what I'm doing. And this is long before Facebook. The only thing that was around then was MySpace and Black Planet.
Right.
A few other little, online things. And I started advertising. I started sending excerpts to people. I started asking, can I do an excerpt for a black newspaper here and there? And they started accepting it. And before you know it, I had to order 5,000 more books.
Mm.
And it just kind of took off. And then I started winning some awards. So I'm like, what, is this real? And a friend of mine from there, he said, man, you should talk to someone at Simon & Schuster. He says, I have a friend named Zane. I said, well, I've read her books.
Oh, wow.
And he says, well, I've already talked to her about you. And her sister's calling you. And sure enough, she called and says, well, we read your book, we checked out your numbers for the sales of your books, and you have another book ready. And actually, I did it. It wasn't edited yet, but I sent her some excerpts of it. And she says, get it edited, we want that book.
Wow.
It just kind of snowballed for me. And next thing you know, I got 2 books done with Simon & Schuster and Zane. And that book will happen to be Perfect Circle. You see how big it is?
Yes.
Actually, it was quite a bit bigger, and she said, well, we got to cut that book down. It's a little large. So it was a learning process again. And that book really took off. And so many accolades and things, awards came along with that, and so much of our readership really grew. And so it's been quite a story to how things happen with my own work, but also following other trends and trying to stay ahead of them and trying not to make the mistakes that other writers make. So I'm pleased as now I have my 5th book out, and it's quite a journey.
So I was going to ask how many books you had out to date. So out of all these, which is your favorite?
Oh man, that famous question. Which book is your favorite? Wow. And every time I'm asked, I get stuck.
Well, can I? Well, let.
Each one
Well, let me.
has a value.
Well, let me answer. Let me kind of help you. I guess I'm an author too, so as an author, your books are like your children, and it's almost like asking to decide which is the favorite of your children. So if you can't answer, I truly understand.
Yeah, they are my children. I will say that Brushstrokes, being my first book, has a special place in my heart because it created so much for me. And that story is still, many book clubs still read that book. So I think readers, when they get into it, it's just really heartfelt for them to get into it. But I think the book I put some serious work into is Perfect Circle. And I really took on the thing of, if I'm going to write, let me have a message besides romance and erotica. I want to take on some social issues and bring things to light that are going on around us. And so I really took that on, and that grew into my next book of our political social awareness. In my next book after that called One Safe Place, where I kind of take on the espionage, the spy network, the black superhero in the modern world for us. I'm really pleased with each one of my books. They all have a place in my heart because they all help me grow to another level.
But one thing I admire about you, you and I are the only ones with black spy novels. I very few have black spy novels out. And like you say, in the modern world, in the real world, so this is why I think you're awesome, simply because of that alone. So,
You know, to the spy thing, that word can be misused, spy, in the things that really so many people have worked in the background of things, doing things that if people knew they were doing it, they would be ridiculed or questioned. And some people just step up and do the right thing.
exactly.
That's just really sometimes that's who a superhero is, or a spy network type situation, because you have to do so much work in the background where you don't want people to know what you're doing.
And see, I'm glad, and I love the concept, which is another reason why I gravitate towards you. So with that, um, five very good books, five bestsellers. What can you say your writing style is?
Um, I like to think there's a deep emotional contact that comes from my soul, and from everything that I have experienced from a child to an adult. When it comes to writing about love, I think there's a whole lot more than just writing about boy meets girl and they fall in love. There's each one of these people, when they fall in love, they have a job, they have a background, they can have children, they can be divorced, and now entering the situation, and what's going on socially for them at the same time. And I think sometimes we can get caught up in writing our love and romance things, and we sometimes turn them into billboards of what they wear, what they drive. And I try to go in a different direction. What's happening to them socially at the same time when they come home from work. Do they bring their work home with them? And who do they meet because of their work or their social activism, or where they're going to for entertainment, what kind of situations they run into. And of course, being a black man in America, we have automatically we speak different languages wherever we go.
Exactly.
We have to be on point different ways, different times, wherever we go. And so I try to put that into play. Also listening to my sisters and what they go through, not just in Boy Meets Girl, but what's going on for them that's different in the social awareness world. Because our sisters get approached and attacked differently than a man. So I try to put that into perspective for them too.
And see, what a lot of people don't realize, while we write Boy Meets Girl, we sort of forget that there are times that even when Boy Meets Girl, girl has her own drama in the middle of the romance, and we never tell her story.
Right.
But you tell her story.
I try to tell her story because they have their own issues in life, especially as they're aging and evolving from one thing to the next thing. You take Boy Meets Girl, but at some point in time, that woman may be divorced, she may have a child. That child may be aging out of the house. Now, what is her life now that her child is out of the house? And the type of people and social circles she runs in. So her life, going from education from job to job and evolving in economics for her is different than a man. And then when they come together, what happens in those situations? Is her child still in the home or not in the home? How's those things transmit on words on a page, and especially the emotions from it?
Well, another thing I find we have in common is you're very big on characterization and making sure your characters sync up and have lives and everything. Why are characters so important to you? And what makes it for a good story?
What makes for a good story is the characters. No matter the background of what's going on, no matter what social things are going on, the characters' development and how they have evolved or not evolve is very important to the story. If you take, say, two women and they're friends, one may be more moral than the other one, but they're still friends. And what happens in between them? Take two men. One may be more educated and one may be more street savvy, but they're friends because they need each other for education on how to deal with this world from different perspectives. You take a former athlete and you take someone who was never an athlete, and what goes on in their life, from everything from where do they live, how do they live, what do they drive, where do they meet up as far as social circles, and where do they go on their own accord and they won't take the other person, or might feel shameful to take that person, or think that person can't handle a certain life. One of the things that I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, Omar Tyree, he's been out here to the Northwest a couple times, and I'll take him around town. I found something very entertaining is that I took him to a nice night spot, full of people, good entertainment and everything, and he enjoyed himself. And he says, when we leave there, he said, now take me to your dive. And I thought about it, wow, I would have never thought to take him to the dive, the bottom where, it might be a little dangerous, it might be, need to be cautious. And to the point that, I went to the trunk of my car and retrieved my legal weapon before I went in this joint, because it's a total different situation where I was taking him. And so with that being said, here, developing a character, you can go from the high life to the low life, but they cross in many ways.
And another thing that I like again is the fact that your characters are not one-dimensional. They can go through so many realms.
Right. What's that? I think there's a saying that I can go from high class to low class, 0 to 60.
Yes.
You ever see that? I think there's been a couple of movies they mimic that thing where a woman's taking off her earrings and getting
Yes.
getting the vaccine.
1 minute she's classy, and next minute taking off the shoes and the earrings, and yeah.
Right. So I think that is really important that our characters have full-rounded situations, that something can make them go another direction. And it's very important.
Well, changing gears for a second, I want to get to the meat of your fame here. A lot of your fans are ladies. Explain to me your female fan base. How does that feel?
Quite by accident. Being a poet, number one. Writing emotional, deep, felt, hard situations. Trying to go behind the surface of, roses are red, all that kind of stuff. Going to the deepness of, from the pressure of a kiss to being held tightly, to being able to feel her tear run down your cheek, and you know that she's trembling, you feel her trembling, and she won't need you to hold her. Well, I try to put that in my poetry. When I write anything erotic in this poetry, I try to make it so visual and not just so pornographic and everything, so that you can see the baby hair stand up on her skin. I think over the years, I always have featured my poetry on all my social media, because although I write a lot of poetry, writing poetry books and selling them is something different than writing novels. So one way to advertise my work is to feature my poetry in every type of social media that we have available to us, and I've just garnered a following. And then my books, I always make sure that women in my books, I hear you read them, you hear them, you know them, and for a woman to say that's me, I think that's very critical in writing that. And I think it's also very important to say that I do have a lot of male readers, because I try to write so so that both sexes can see themselves in there. But when it comes to supporting my books and the things I've done for spoken word, my music over the years, women have been very supportive because I think they see, feel, and hear themselves and know that I'm trying to reach out and touch their inner core with what I write, not just touch them physically. And so even when I write something that's about something physically, they see something much deeper in what I'm writing.
All right. Speaking of music, tell me a little bit about your music.
Um, Long before any other creative things came out of me, music came out of me. I was blessed to have a mom that played the gospel piano in the church, and I was, living near her, around her. I was able to hear that piano and hear her sing. I had an uncle that had a voice like Sam Cooke, and I just have been around music and musicians all my life, and I just try to emulate what I hear. Growing up in the 60s and 70s, I heard a lot of great music from the Dramatics, the Delphonics, Stylistics, the Spinners.
Yes.
Going back to the 60s, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Billy Stewart, and going back to the 50s, and hearing the early rock and roll from Chuck Berry, and just having that influence, and then starting to hear the creations of funk, Sly and the Family Stone, Larry Graham, Graham Central Station, and then moving into the 80s where we started moving into a little singular funk with Aura and things like Gap Band. I've always had that music. I played in bands. I play several instruments, and then being a writer, that allowed me to write music. And so I created a lot of music. I've sold a lot of songs along the way, and then eventually, when I got into spoken word, I was able to create my own music behind me, playing the keyboard or stand-up bass, electric bass, guitar. So I've been able to incorporate music into what I write, whether it's in my books, whether it's in my spoken word or my poetry. I want a song to be heard.
See, I love that. And so you do a lot of spoken word. Do you go to local clubs in the area? Do you tour? Do you where do you do your spoken word?
Well, here in the Northwest, our black population is not super huge, but we have a number of venues that have, featured spoken word and music, and I have always done that. My spoken word kind of really took off around 2010. I was touring, hitting all the clubs from the South all the way up to the East Coast, all the way to LA, to Vegas, and then I sat down and wrote some music and recorded my spoken word over it. And in 2012, I grabbed my little trophy here. I won the Billboard Awards.
Wow.
Spoken word.
Wow.
So, yeah, kind of proud of that.
See, you're a Billboard Music Award winner. I love that.
So I just have done those kind of things over the years and incorporated my music into my spoken word and let the two genres cross and mix and yeah.
Okay. Now my next question is, I'm going back to the subject now. How can we? Oh well, before I ask this, do you have any recorded spoken word albums, anything that you've sold, or any videos that you've ever sold, or any of that?
Yes, I'm on SoundCloud, Alvin, L.A. Horn, SoundCloud. You can hear my whole 2012 spoken word CD. It's called From the Base of My Soul. That's available. You can go to YouTube and look up my name. I've done a couple of short movie videos, spoken word. They are available. And I'll send you those links later if you want to shout them out to other people. So I do have some videos. I do have my spoken word available.
My next question is: are you working on anything new right now?
Yes, I'm currently working on a historical fiction, and I'm really excited about it, and apprehensive too at the same time. Excited about it because I had to do so many years of research, because the story takes place during World War II. Some black soldiers in southern France, just after they ran the Nazis pretty much out of France and back into Germany. The war is kind of coming to the end, but there's still a lot of danger. And a story my grandfather told me about when he was in France, that they had to do a lot of cleanup. That was what the black soldiers did, a lot of foul cleanup. And so I spun this story into a soldier. He's smarter than everybody. He's cunning. He's streetwise. He's educated, as a lot of our black soldiers were.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were promoted to sergeant, lieutenant, or corporal, most likely as a black soldier, you went to college.
Right.
And so I put this story together, and it's a historical romance because also during that time period, Jim Crow was still in effect, and there was white army and black army, and still the same thing happened down south. You had to be conscious of while you were in the army of meeting a woman, and so I had to spin a story to make it work, and it's just a beautiful story, and I'm looking forward to getting it out. My apprehension is that it's a historical romance, and it's a new genre for me, and hoping I meet the right audience, and the audience I can get to them, and because once they read this, I honestly believe that it's going to be another bestseller.
How can we get in contact with you? How can we buy? How can we buy your books? How can we get your music? What can we do to get to know you better?
Well, I have a really wonderful website, and that is alvinhorn.com. That's ALVINHORN.com. I think when you come to my website, you will like this. I love this website. You can access so much of my work, and you can get to my music, you can get to my videos, you can get to my books, wherever you need to order them from. And I just really want you to go there. Of course, I'm on Facebook, and I have 3 pages. You can find me pretty easily, and I'm always posting work and trains of thoughts and keeping people socially conscious about things, and keeping some romance out there too. So my main website, come on by. It will connect you to my whole network of all the things I got going on. My music, my books, my videos, a whole lot more.
Wonderful. And do you have any events coming up?
Once a month, I am part of a situation here in Seattle called Aphrodisiac, where it's kind of like your Love Jones type venue, where I play stand-up bass behind the poets and do some reciting myself, and nice ambience and low lights and couples and singles all come together. And once a month we do that here in Seattle called Aphrodisiac. Don't plan on leaving out of Seattle to go do an event anytime soon, but you never know. Go to my website. I'll post it if I am headed out.
Awesome. Now, this is the portion of the interview where I give you the final word to whatever you want to say, give advice, give shout outs, whatever you want to do, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, let me shout you out, okay? HD, man, you need more people like you who have set aside egos and things and say, hey, there's other people you need to be watching, listening, and reading to, and for you to take the time to do this is valuable. And all your listeners need to give you a shout out and praise, because we as a people don't often do that or don't do it enough.
Thank you.
So it's kind of like smelling your flowers now, that old saying, So I want to shout you out, and there's other people who do this. Like, you got to keep this up, because our avenues of advertising are not as great as we like. Our radio stations have now been bought, and now they're owned by big corporations. So it's limited how we can reach each other. So, of course, we don't have much going on in the television world. Our movies are increasing, but still, how do we get our art out there?
Exactly.
It's a little tough. So people like you are very important. And, I'm going to keep writing people. I'm not going away anytime soon that I know of. I'm going to keep my music going. So come to my website, alvinhorn.com, and send me an email. And if you got questions, or if you have an event you'd like me to come to, some of the other things I do on the side, I do poetry for weddings and write short stories for people's situations. I do a little ghost writing. I do a little editing, not much. But so I do some other things. You need music. You need voiceovers. Yes, I'm that guy who does voiceovers. I'm that guy that just needs to talk to you. I'm that guy who needs to talk to you. So I do voiceovers. I've had a few commercials out there. So, hey, check me out. Thank you very much. Read my books, like Perfect Circle. Love this book. Brushstrokes. Please read this book. One Safe Place. This story is so intriguing. You just love the backdrop of it too. So, and then my latest book, Bad Before Good and Those in Between. I love this book. You will too. All right.
And thank you very much.
Check out the grand opening for Reed Crochet. It's a one-of-a-kind shop for one-of-a-kind crochet items. What do you imagine? Can Sharita crochet it for you? Bet she can. One-of-a-kind items for one-of-a-kind artists. Contact Sharita Newsom for details at RERELL30@yahoo.com or log on to her website at www.regcrochet for pricing and details. It's Reg Crochet, where art meets practicality.
Welcome back to the show. But before I get into my 2 cents, a programming note. I did have a video blog about Kodak Black. Then I was also going to do one about Joe Biden. You'll get those in the morning due to the lateness of the uploads of this show. Now, off to my 2 cents. I usually have 2 authors ready to do the author's corner, and I don't mind doing the shows or what have you. But I do ask 2 things. Number 1, this is a video show because we are on YouTube. I ask that you have Skype or some type of video phone so we can actually see our authors. Sometimes videos are sometimes a little sketchy, or like today, AT&T was outside doing some things and things is going on. As long as the video is actually can be seen and you can be seen and you're able to hear and get your point across, that's fine. But I sort of had an author who didn't really like her interview, so which is very rare because I very rarely get big complaints to where they don't want their interview on because of how things are. She actually not only declined to want to be on the author's corner, she also proceeded to give me some advice on what I can do. She wants me to go to radio, do podcasts now, not knowing I've been at this show for 10 years. I mean, I've been doing this since 2009, and I've evolved since 2009. So, just kind of be careful. Fortunately, I was able to get Alvin L.A. Horn to come in and do the show, which we was actually scheduled to do an interview anyway. He just came to do it earlier, which he shouts me out. I'm shouting him out because he didn't really have to do this soon. My advice today is don't waste people's time and keep your silly little advice to yourself. So, that's it for the Author's Corner. Peace, hair grease, and as always, let your writing fuel your spirit, and God bless. Oh, and by the way, I am going to spend the rest of my day eating Domino's pizza. Oh yeah, I'm going to eat some of the Domino's pizza, and it's going to be all good.